Hold it, gamers. I know you want to watch EndWalker, but I'm here to tell you there's about to be major spoilers. You're in the main heart of this expansion. So be warned, if you haven't caught up with the videos or you haven't played EndWalker for yourself, go do it, or I will never stop being angry. But if you are caught up, please enjoy the video. Graha stinky. Anyway, I'm gonna pick this up. Hold on. Hashtag drive by. I have a new rule. Pet all the rabbits.
There, take that back.
What the fuck are those? Are those
Now
fucking,
we're
like,
putting
machine
in
guns?
the jar.
Are those like, oh my god, are those flamethrowers or machine guns?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Force
you are.
multiplier and their conversation ender.
Their conversation.
How the fuck do you get like, some sort of like steampunk
Oh,
ass,
shit.
you know, like firearm, and I just get a fucking
No major
ripper
injuries
from
then.
Fallout?
Good.
Why is her voice acting right away? I didn't
briefed
mean
the
to hit
recovered
accept.
soldiers
I'm
and sent them on
sorry.
their way as quickly as I could,
Well.
but nevertheless feared they
Watching.
would not make it in time.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Forchano Leveilleur. And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
It's my fault because I'm a pompous douchebag that just now realized the truth.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much.
She just opens up with, "Wow, you have
You
shit
doubtless
timing."
feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
You have
And
no
I, for
reason
one,
to.
would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions. Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
Oh, fuck.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Forchano. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Charlian alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
Do you swear to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us?
I swear.
He's your son, dipshit. Why would he lie?
Any other I would doubt. You I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks.
Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
What?
Did you hear something just
What was
now?
that noise? Oh. What? No. No.
No. You.
What? It's freaky and I hate it.
Where is this star's blasted pudding?
Pudding way?
What?
What are you?
What? That was freaky and I hated it. Don't
I
ever do that
request
again.
that you never do that again. I almost shot you.
The next time you do that, I'm kicking you so hard you are going to the moon.
I'm going to play kick the baby if you ever do that again.
And to this bitter
Oh, damn it,
climb
pudding
bring
way.
warmth and comfort.
What do you want?
Hey, oh God, Ariana.
'Tis heartening to see such an assembly upon my return.
I
thought
figured it
often
had
of
to
you
be
whilst I
something
looked
goofy
down
because of
upon our
Graha's
star's
fucking
brilliance from
ear
the moon
noise, but
above.
come on.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Allow me
He's shaking!
We're here because none of you lot are up
Dumbass!
nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans.
Verily, I fear for mine own health.
Is what it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed.
What can you do?
So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Etheris. Oriange made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom? Marvelous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found.
I
must suffer Oriange's inferior works no more. Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? Ahem. As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal. We were born from Heidelin's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Aye, not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. Speaking to Oriange made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
Forgive me, but are they...
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
I'm gonna point.
Hail, fellow. Well
Yeah,
met.
they're the ones you've been talking to.
You'd be a member of the forum, would you? It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last.
I've been talking to living stuffed animals.
Anyway, Hydelin's right paw. That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I, bid you welcome to our star, Livingway. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Charlian, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable. 'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
May thy disciples banish this darkest of nights.
I am no esteemed philosopher of Eld. Nevertheless, 'tis my hope that what little knowledge I shared shall serve them well, and perchance help save us all. Will thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
Sure, would you like some soup with that? God damn it!
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
I mean, you are wearing shorts.
I'm gonna punt Pudding Way. I'm gonna kick the bunny.
Kick the baby.
Don't kick the goddamn baby.
Kick the baby.
Okay, we're just here.
Oh. Okay.
I wasn't expecting.
What is this blue quest?
Oh, that's the sightseeing log, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me just get through this real quick. Yada yada yada, shut up.
I dare say Master Fortuno was as nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Heidelin's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the rostra.
Okay.
Run, bitches! Where the fuck is Emil? Oh, he's way over there.
Ah,
That's right, that's the letter A.
bitch. Bitch. Double bitch.
Oh shit, the cutscene started immediately as soon as you entered the main hall.
Oh shit, okay.
I thought we had to talk to somebody inside there and know it'd start immediately. I don't know if it's voiced over. It might be.
One day I'll load in. Doesn't look like it.
No, it's not. Or at least no way it is, given the frames.
Yeah, it's not voiced over. Not that I'm complaining, Rianche, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Theris, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loperids a desire to avert our beloved star's demise.
Cryle tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I've news to share regarding our study of the Ethereal Sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, and so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelin's Elpis flower lead? Hythlodaeus was hot.
I asked about the flower, you fuck shit. And who the fuck is this Hythlodaeus?
By the way, Hythlodaeus and Emitzel totally gay for each other. Just saying.
They're boyfriends.
They're absolutely.
Hythlodaeus is a twink.
Okay, this is all well and good. Tell me about the fucking flower now.
Oh, that! It's based off of emotion.
Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are one and the same, this all but proves Nirhana's theory. We're an entity through sheer force of emotion to channel this vast, dormant reservoir into a raging river. Its power might surpass even that of Aether.
But if our star is so replete with Aether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse.
Or rather, the sorrow and suffering fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for a millennia. I need more water, that's why I'm struggling. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Theris. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Meteon.
You make it sound so simple. Well, you're not wrong. That's her. That's her. I'm tired shrug. It's just like, oh, not this again. Vanquish Meteon, and we deliver the world from the final days. But to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Meteon escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vana, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Atheris, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Meteon? No, but Meteon is still out there. Aye, though not for lack of trying on Heidelin's part. Surely that's why she used me as a conduit for her will, and provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question.
So what's the second condition?
We must find some means to reach Meteon. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon wheresoever she has made her nest.
Then communing with Heidelin must be by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea?
Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arambald and other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Heidelin, even from within the Anti-Tower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Forum has found some other method of receiving instructions from Heidelin. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the ethereal sea, built closer to home. Pizza's here.
Where's the fucking pizza?
Sorry to interrupt, we've just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them.
They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say.
Fuck you, get on the moon.
Where do I go?
Oh my god, it takes forever to load into old Charlie and hit.
It takes forever for y'all?
It takes y'all?
It takes y'all?
Y'all?
Yeehaw?
It takes?
Titties?
Let me in.
The forum is in session, and as such, the rostra is closed to visitors.
Motherfucker, I'm not even here yet.
I'm sorry. Just seeing Silver just trot on over here mumbling that into his mic was fucking hilarious. Asylum at the 7th Dawn. Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Lest you forget, this sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden.
What does that make a meal?
What?
Emil's a walking, talking war crime.
What do you mean?
I was just sitting
Jumping over your desk, fuck you.
I was making the joke because you're a healer.
And?
Mikey Spiky.
Then again, you have like flamethrowers attached to your backside, so. Oh my god, we're waiting forever. Let me in.
Oh, this is definitely voiced over.
Oh, you know it. Please let me turn on. Thank you. Ooh, Emil Vieira.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter.
Oh, my flowers.
We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. we shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat-Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
we would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scion's terms?
Raise your hand, bitches.
"71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
It's not against the Forum. It's just a suggestion.
Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was, admittedly, thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteon, in the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves in the completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. It we must keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the Aether Burner. I'd like to think of it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. I'm guessing he's gonna bring in Sid. It might behoove us to learn how an Aether Burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though.
Yeah, there's only one man that knows how to do that kind of shit, and that's Sid. I want to see mans.